Hey guys, Allie here tonight. So I wanted to talk about the main thing I see primarily, I've seen with myself and with others, of why it seems like manifestations don't come into fruition in our 3D, or it seems like they take a really long time. And from what I've gathered and my own personal experience is the fact that we'll have a desired reality, something that we want to create, and it's different from what we're currently experiencing. So we get clear on that. We have that intention and we impress that onto our consciousness and we reside in that. And then we will have something contrary maybe happening in our 3D, and we start to question and doubt and fear the possibility of this manifestation come into fruition. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard this kind of analogy of where your desired reality is a seed, and you think about that, and so you're planting that seed in your thoughts, and you're aligned with that state of being, and then all of a sudden something comes up and you start to, like I said, you have doubt or fear, and you worry that maybe this isn't going to happen. So when that seed is planted, and then you start to have contradictory thoughts in terms of lack of that desired reality, so you're identifying with the lack instead, it's like you're digging up that seed. And so just when we put the seed in the ground so it can start to germinate and so it can start to fully blossom and manifest into our desired reality. But instead of staying aligned with that desired reality, we jump to identifying with the lack of it when something might come up. And when we do that, it's like digging up the seed. It's like we're going against what we've planted because all of a sudden we're identified with the lack of it. So the process starts, we have our desired reality and we're going in that direction and we're in that state of being and we're aligned with that and we're keeping our identity, thoughts, beliefs focused on that direction and choosing that. But then something happens and we identify with the lack instead, and that totally stops that process. And as we continue to identify with more lack and everything, it's almost like digging up the seed. The process is not continuing anymore because you're doing something that's going against the process of it becoming fulfilled. So, a big thing, guys, is, like I said, always be observing yourself throughout your day. That's where you find your power, because when you're the observer and you're resting in the present moment and you're present with what's going on throughout your day, you know what state you're identifying with. That is very key, because when we first start off doing this, we might wobble some. That's very normal. We go between our desired reality and then we go to the lack of it. That can happen back and forth. But as we get better at this and as we realize, hey, I'm wobbling, so I'm going to continue to using my creative power, bring my mind back to the reality that I want to create. And you continue to do that. Anytime you notice that you're starting to wobble, you continue to bring your focus and attention and awareness back on the desired state of reality and let that lack one go. The lack one can be there, but you don't have to experience it unless you become aware and identify with it. Just let it go. Continue to put your focus on your desired reality is, manifesting right here in every moment. It's unfolding in every moment, regardless of what circumstances look like. And as you do that over and over, that will become easier because you will train your brain to identify with the desired state and the reality that you want to experience versus the lack. It might take a little persistence in the beginning, and that's okay. We can do that. We can do this kind of stuff, guys. It just is persistence in training ourselves to identify with what we want instead of the lack of it. That's really all it is in all of this manifestation stuff. It's identifying with what we want and staying in that state for the dominant amount of time. So we're dominantly maintaining the state of our desired fulfilled. When this happens, our desired reality is going to unfold and manifest into our 3D reality. It will come about very naturally. You don't have to figure out the how. That will all come to you. It will all happen very naturally. You just hold your state and your focus on the end, and everything else will work itself out. But like I said, the key to what happens to a lot of people is they develop that wobble. Wobbles are fine. We all go through them. The key is if you decide that you're going to put your attention on that wobble and really let that story take over. That's when you become pretty much unconscious and you're starting to identify with the lack more than the fulfilled desire. And that's when you really slow that manifestation process down, because you're now identified with the lack more and more instead of the fulfillment. So as you do this, just know it's just a choice. You're choosing whenever you're in a moment and you notice that you start to wobble. You're just choosing to bring your focus back to that desired fulfilled. Don't beat yourself up if you wobble. It's completely normal and natural for many of us to do it. The key is, and your power is in being the power that chooses what you want to focus on. Nothing can take your attention away and take you for a ride unless you allow it to. You are the power that is creating in every moment. But if you allow your attention to be taken by the lack of your desire versus the fulfillment, well, that's your choice. But you have the choice. It ultimately rests with you. So guys, just continue to be persistent in choosing to put your attention on that your desire is fulfilled and unfolding all the time, regardless of anything. And as you go about your day, unfolding in every moment, just know that this has to happen. This has to unfold in your reality. It's the law. The dominant amount of time that you spend residing in your desired fulfilled, that has to come to be. That has to be manifested in your 3D reality. So, so to sum up, guys, I mean, that's the biggest thing I see is like people wobbling, and they have a desired reality, and then something happens and then they start to identify with the lack of it. So they never really give their desired reality enough time to really manifest here out in the 3D because they're wobbling so much. So a lot of time that just looks like their reality is not changing because they're not holding that state a dominant amount of the time. So just remember, you guys, we're powerful creators, and it's all coming from us. It's all our decision, and our decision comes from where we focus and where we reside in terms of our state of being. And that's all up to us. So that's a great thing because we get to choose. So we can choose whatever we desire to have come into our 3D. So I think that's it. I think I repeated myself some, but I get excited about it because seriously, guys, it's really exciting. I mean, it's our choice to decide what we want to create and keep our focus on it. Nothing can take that choice away from us. That is our choice, So just use it wisely and use it consciously and intentionally, and watch as your reality starts to shift and your desires start to become manifested out in your 3D reality. It's going to be really exciting. So, okay, guys. Well, that's all for tonight, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.